Whenever somebody brings up evolution, the whole room gets kind of quiet, like people suddenly turn into experts. One side's like, science proved everything. And the other side's like, God created everything. And I'm sitting here like, hold up. What if the truth is way deeper than both? Now listen, I'm not a scientist, all right? I ain't claiming that. But I am a man who likes to understand things. And this question right here, it just sticks with you. Does Islam accept evolution? That's big. So first, let me say something honestly. Islam is not afraid of science. Man, go back in history. Muslim scholars were studying the stars, medicine, math, when most of the world didn't even know what math was. So this idea that Islam hates science, nah, that doesn't fit the history. But here's the real question everybody asks. Did humans come from apes, or were we created directly by God? And Islam is very clear about something. Human beings are not an accident. Adam wasn't some random evolutionary moment. He was created by God intentionally. That's powerful. Now listen carefully here. Some Muslim scholars say evolution might explain animals, how species change, how nature adapts. But humans, that's different. That's divine. That's a God moment. And honestly, I kind of feel that in my soul, because Islam says humans are not just physical bodies. We're spiritual. We got a soul. We got purpose. Science can tell you how your body works. Islam tells you why your existence matters. And this part actually surprised me. Islam doesn't tell people to run away from science. It literally tells believers to look at the world, study creation, reflect on the universe. There's even a verse that says something like, travel the earth and see how creation began. Man, that sounds like God saying, go ask questions, go explore, go learn. But here's what Islam doesn't accept, that humans are just upgraded animals or just cosmic accidents. Islam says we were created with dignity, with intention, with purpose. That hits different. So if you're asking me, does Islam believe evolution is real? For animals? Maybe. For nature? Possibly. But for humans? Islam says God created Adam. And that's the line. Now let me slow this down for a moment, because some people hear this and think it's religion versus science. But you know what I've learned? Science explains the how. Faith explains the why. Science studies creation. Faith talks about the Creator. Those aren't enemies. Those are two halves of a bigger picture. And even if evolution explains how life changed, even if it explains stages or biology, it still doesn't explain the soul. It doesn't explain why you and I can think about right and wrong, why we care about justice, why we feel guilt or love or mercy. Those aren't just chemicals. Those are spiritual realities. And look, I think this is important. Islam doesn't shut the door on questions. It invites questions. It invites reflection. It invites research. Knowledge is considered worship in Islam. Learning is an act of faith. Now think about that. If the Creator tells you to explore creation, then discovery isn't disrespect. It's actually part of belief. And maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't evolution. The problem is when people try to use evolution to erase God. Because if evolution is just a process, then who started the process? Who designed nature to even evolve in the first place? Every system we see in life has intelligence behind it. Your phone didn't make itself. Your camera didn't design itself. Your body, this body with DNA that's like a code, you telling me that came from nowhere? That doesn't sound like science. That sounds like faith in randomness. And look, sometimes I just sit outside at night looking at the stars and I think, this universe is too ordered, too precise, too mathematical to be a lucky accident. That feels intentional. That feels crafted. And if nature has laws, then somebody wrote those laws. If creation has a beginning, then somebody lit that beginning. So, does Islam accept evolution? Depends which part you're talking about. Nature changing? Maybe. Animals adapting? Possibly. Human souls evolving from animals? Islam says no. And honestly, when you put science and faith together, you don't end up with less truth. You end up with more meaning. Maybe science and religion aren't fighting at all. Maybe they're trying to answer different questions about the same mysterious story we all came from. And maybe the real beauty is this: science shows us the signs, and faith shows us what those signs point to.